It's a Guild Polara S-100. It's a proper, you know, heritage brand reissue. A cheaper alternative to the Gibson SG. Now, of course, a lot of you are thinking, oh, does it neck dive? Does it neck dive, Cole? Let's find out. I found this guitar really inspiring. What a great guitar. Hello, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. I'm quite excited today. I've got something to get my teeth into. Another new guitar. And it is this. It's a Guild Polara S-100. I've finally got one. I've had my eye on these for ages, and at last I got one. I don't know why it's taken me so long. As you might know, or you could probably deduce from the back wall, I'm a big SG fan, and this has been calling me for years, actually. They're not, I suppose they're not that common, the S-100 Polara. Not the sort of thing that you just see pop up, you know, at discount prices ever, really. So I've never bought one until now. This, of course, is the Kim Thayil signature one. You know, Soundgarden's Kim Thayil, who is one of very few people that are known for playing this particular model of guitar. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself as usual. So the point is, I've got one. I'm very chuffed, as you can tell. What we're going to do today is we're going to review it. Deep dive review. All the weights and measures. Take it apart. Have a look underneath it. Pick it to pieces and see what it's like. And of course, play it quite a lot. And we might even do a little bit of drop D, if you're lucky. So that's it. It'll be a substantial review, this. If you're in a bit of a hurry, don't worry. Timestamps in the description box so you can skip forward to hear what it sounds like or whatever. If you're not in a hurry, you know the drill. Go and put the kettle on or open the drinks cabinet. Actually, I'm told that people don't have drinks cabinets in this day and age. Open the cupboard, fridge, whatever it is. Well, I don't care what you do. Go and get a drink, come back and join me, and let's chill out and review this guitar. Let's do it. So let's start with a very brief bit of history about this particular model, the Guild Polara S-100. And although this is the Kim Thayil signature, it is based on the original spec 70s version of this. So the Polara, this shape of the Polara, I should say, 70s guitar. In the 60s, S-100 Polara was shaped like this. This, of course, is my Jetstar. So it lived on with a different name, and they changed the shape to this in the 70s. Maybe as a response to the Gibson SG? I don't know. Very few people are known to have played them. I'm going to try and dig out a picture now. Lee Brillo from Dr. Feelgood had a Polara. I mean, he's not known for his guitar playing, but he had one to strum along. Lee Brillo, or Dr. Feelgood, incidentally, from just across the water on Canvey Island, which is a few miles from where we are here. Anyway, yeah, not the most famous player of the Polara. Kim Thayil, of course, was. And this is his signature. As I said, I think there's not really anything that identifies that apart from the control cover plate. So this got a motive on here. And this refers to one of their albums called Bad Motorfinger, apparently. And on the truss rod cover as well. That motive there relates to another one of their albums, King Animal. I understand. From my research this morning. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've not really listened to Soundgarden until now. I'm bloody pleased that I have, though, because I love what they do. But I'm a little bit older than, you know, I didn't grow up with, what were they, 90s, wasn't it, really? 80s, 90s. I think they became big in the 90s, didn't they? I mean, you know, I was doing other things that I wasn't listening to cool music at that point, to my detriment, to be honest with you. I've had a lot of catching up to do in the last decade, trust me. Anyway, well, what a fucking great band. And I'll be honest with you, my first opinion, what a fucking great guitar. Let's get into some specs now. Let's stop rabbiting. It feels really well made, this guitar. Something about Guilds, you know, obviously I've got the Jetstar as well, so it's not my first Guild. I've had the Starfire as well. They do feel really, robust is a word that I use, and I don't know what it is, but they feel different, okay? They feel different to the likes of the others, shall we say. Something about them, don't know what it is. It's made of mahogany. Here's the specs: mahogany body and a mahogany neck. Now, gloss polyurethane finish. Let's have a quick spec thing, and then we'll take the strings off and go into it in more detail. It's got an Indian rosewood fingerboard. This, the frets they call narrow. Hang on, I've got to get this. Yeah, they call them narrow jumbo. I'm not sure how that works, but that's what they call them. Grover Rotomatic tuners, which speak for themselves. So before we go any further, let's weigh it. I'm guessing best part of £8. Let's see. Oh yeah, tad under, £7, 7 ounces-ish. 3.39 kilos. Yeah, it's a nice weight. Nice little thing that I've just noticed, literally just noticed. It hasn't got the thumb bleeders, you know what I mean, the little sticky out pointy things on the controls, but it's got these little dots. I'm going to have to do a bit of B-roll there so you can see what I'm talking about. Little dots, like, I guess they're little pins that are stuck on or stuck in the body. They're very cool. Price-wise, I paid £899 for this, which seems to be the price. I don't think it's an unreasonable price for an artist's signature. The standard model, however, is not a lot cheaper than that. It's, I think it was £782, so one for sale here in the UK. So, you know, there's a little bit of an upcharge on that. Maybe goes in the artist's pocket because there's not really any very much difference apart from this has got gold hardware and a couple of bits of printed plastic. Apart from that, I don't think there's any other differences. It doesn't come with a case or anything, this, which is a little bit disappointing, but, you know, that's what it is. Well, I don't know if I mentioned that belly carve earlier, did I? I don't think I did. It's got a belly carve. That's welcome. So there you go. Yeah, the standard one, yeah, £700 or £800, which I think is probably why I haven't bought one so far, because it's quite a lot of money to throw at a guitar, particularly when you're thinking about, you know, buying it for the channel here. Now, they also do a USA custom shop version of this for a mere, well, look, Thomann are advertising it for £6,699, which is a bit crazy. I thought I'd seen one of these advertised for around about £5,000 somewhere. But either way, it's a crazy amount of money for a custom shop guitar when you consider you could buy a 70s original from between £2,000 and £3,000, which is what I'd probably do. Yeah, that's a bit silly. This, however, yeah, price is okay. I'm not moaning about the price. Now, of course, a lot of you are thinking, oh, does it neck dive? Does it neck dive, Cole? Let's find out. I think, you know, it's got Grover Rotomatics on it, so it's probably going to tip the scales that way. Let's find out. I'm going to stand back. My head might go out of shot here. Let's find out. Here we go. And are we ready? Sorry, I do that because my hair gets caught under the strap. You can feel it pulling. Yeah, all my phone's going. I'm just going to go and see who that is. Anyway, yeah, look, you can feel it pulling a little bit, but it's not too bad. Yeah. Well, let's go and see who's on the phone. So there you go. That was the neck dive test, and it's all right. I'm going to call him back in a minute. Right, so I'm having fun today. Let's get the strings off and have a closer look. So strings off. First thing I just noticed then as I was removing the strings, I don't know what gauge these are that have come off, but I did notice that it was quite tight. Look at that. It's quite tight in the nut there. Which, oh yeah, that would explain. That would explain. Yeah, I was mucking around with some I tried some drop D on this. Obviously, you have to, don't you? And it took me a while to get it in tune, and that would explain it, because the nut, that string was sticking. So if that's a good way of fixing that. Just use the old string as a file. There you go, there's a little tip for you. Okay, so a composite nut, that's what that is spec'd as. Bound Indian rosewood fingerboard. It looks very nice, doesn't it? It's 12.5-inch radius, this fingerboard, so it's fairly flat. Frets, yeah, narrow jumbo. First time I've heard that. They're quite chunky and well finished, it should be said. Very well finished. It should be remarked. Yeah, nothing sticking out there. Played well good. There you go. It's a 24 3/4-inch scale length, so it's Gibson scale length. It's got a Tune-o-matic style bridge with import width posts. 6mm, aren't they? And it's just, it's quite light, that actually. Looks all right. And it's got this interesting, what they call compensated tailpiece. I mean, it's quite a unique feature, that, isn't it? I wasn't really sure. I suppose I'm still not really sure whether or not I like the look of that. But it is different, and it obviously, I mean, must add to the sound. And certainly, you know, Kim Thayil uses that quite a lot, doesn't he, behind the bridge play. I don't know if I will or not, because I haven't recorded this yet. I played it at home all week, you know, and I'm digging it, shall we say. But playing it in anger here, well, we'll do that later. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's a distinctive look, and it is a cool looking guitar. So it's got two humbuckers. These are humbuckers. They're called Guild MB ones. So hang on, where's my notes? Did I even write that down? Sorry, HB1. Yeah, why not? Yeah, HB1 figures, didn't it? These are called Guild HB1 humbuckers, and obviously it's got 2 volume, 2 tone, 3-way switch, and this here is a phase switch. So in the middle position only, with that down, these are out of phase. We'll hear that in a bit. Okay. What we'll do now, first thing we'll do now is we'll have a closer look at the neck profile and measurements. This is what they call a soft vintage U. Let's see what that means. Okay, here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. It feels quite flat when you think about it. I didn't really think about it when I was playing it. It felt comfortable and I suppose quite fast. Not that that helps me much, but yeah, it's comfortable. It is very flat though. You can see that, can't you? Okay, let's take some pickup readings, starting with the bridge. All controls on 10. This is reading 6.91K and the inductance 3.74 Henrys. Over to the neck, 6.84K. The inductance is 3.79 Henrys, so they're pretty equal really, aren't they? Let's have a middle reading, 3.43 kiloohms. There you go. Nothing under the pick guard. I didn't expect there to be, but I thought I'd take it off anyway. Okay, let's have a little peek in here. Pull some wire through. Looks like it's got a lot of sort of heavy shielding paint in there. Neck pickups, BHK. These are these BHK branded pickups that we've seen before, especially made for Guild, no doubt, by this particular factory, which I think is Korean. There you go. Yeah, and neat and tidy. Look, it's sort of, it's definitely shielding paint. Yeah. There you go. Oh look, and there's your neck tenon to there. You see that? That's what that looks like. And this is what it looks like in the control cavity. We've got Korean ginseng pots. And this has got vintage wiring, apparently. There you go. You can see it's got a mechanical switchcraft style switch. There's the little phase switch, and it's all fairly neat. And again, shielding paint covers the entire route. That's what that looks like. So let's put a new set of strings on it now, plug it in, see what it sounds like. See you in a minute. Okay, this is what it sounds like unplugged. Sweet. Sounds sweet. Today, we've got the Princeton reverb back, the 65. It has been repaired. So I'm testing it. This is a test. Fingers crossed. I've had it back once and it lasted about half an hour before it packed up again. This time, it's got new valves and a couple of new caps, I believe. So, fingers crossed. We'll see how long it lasts. This is what the guitar sounds like. Let's do it quick until it, just in case, shall we? Right, so, and it's on what, is it on 7? Just over 7 through the aux attenuator. And on the board, I've got a soul food, I've got a rat, and I've got a little wah-wah, which I might use. If I do use any of those things, I'll show you with this camera down here, so you can see what I'm up to. But to start with, it's all going to be clean. Although, as you can hear, it's breaking up nicely. So this is what the bridge pickup sounds like. No pedals, just the guitar and the amp. That's a Princeton, if you crank it. Give it a bit of a lighter touch, of course, you've got this. Sounds nice. Neck pickup. In the middle, and in the middle position you've got this out of phase. Sounds like this. Pretty much as you'd expect, really. It gives it that thin kind of nasal sound. I'm not sure about that. We'll maybe give it a try later on over a loop and see what happens. A few pedals might sound nice. So that's all with it all on 10. Let's see if the controls work. Volumes work fine. Tones. So this has got vintage wiring, so it should all be quite interactive. It's got quite a lot of stuff going on, I think. All seems to work well. Let's just sort of put a loop down and muck around and see what happens. Here we go. There you go. What a great guitar. Really like this. I really like this. Way better than I expected it to be, honestly. I think it sounds great. Really nice. It's quite distinctive, I think. Nice warmth about it. The pickups are nice and warm. And although they read as kind of quite low output PAF like, I suppose they are. There's clarity, but they drive pretty hard as well. All the controls work. Yeah. Quality, build quality. Yeah. I was going to say can't be faulted, but the nut slot was a little bit tight on the lower E, as I mentioned earlier. But apart from that, honestly, I mean, you know, it's one of those things that it is so good you don't notice it, you know what I mean? Obviously, we went through it. Great fret job, great quality components. You might imagine that the pickups are a kind of budget, but they certainly don't sound like it, and they're probably not. I mean, this is the signature, and they haven't felt the need to up the ante in terms of the stock hardware. Well, I did say it wasn't any different to the standard model, apart from the plastics and the colour. The phase switch, I forgot to mention that. The standard model doesn't have the phase switch. However, that is based on the 70s original. So when Kim bought his original back in whenever it was, it had the phase switch. So this is stock standard, yeah, stock standard reissue of the 70s large headstock model. 78 large headstock, I think they called that. So it's a proper, you know, heritage brand reissue. So it's great. It's not, it's not like a Gibson with an Epiphone headstock or any of the other brands. It's not like an SG with another headstock. It's a Guild Polara S-100. It was bought originally by Kim because it was a cheaper alternative to the Gibson SG. And he made a smart choice, I think, because I think it's probably shaped his sound, or their sound, Soundgarden's sound. So, you know, we've all benefited from that, I think. What a great sound. I found this guitar really inspiring. Obviously, it's inspired me to try and learn some Soundgarden riffs. And it certainly inspired me to carry on learning some riffs, because I've never really been, well, I don't consider myself to be a riff-based player. This is the first time I've ever tried drop D. A little bit more coming up, incidentally. And so I shall muck around some more and, you know, try and educate myself on 90s music, because that, as I said earlier, that passed me by. I was brought up in the 1780s. That's when I was a youth. 90s, I was being grown up for a while, until I then went full circle and we're back here. So yeah, I've got some gaps in my musical knowledge. So well, I'm really chuffed that this is helping me to discover new music and hopefully learn to play some of that properly. Price wise, I mean, $899's not cheap, is it? But I think I was thinking we probably have got Epiphone to thank for altering our perception of what is affordable nowadays, because the way that they've hiked their prices so dramatically in the last year, literally, has made stuff like this a viable alternative to, you know, whatever it is they're putting out, and it's still half the price of USA Gibson, isn't it? So there you go. You know, should you get one? Absolutely, if you fancy something a little bit different. And I mean, I can't really say that. Well, I was going to say a lot cooler than the SG. Well, I don't know if you can really say that, because the SG is damn cool, but this is really cool as well. So really, really good alternative. And that was my review. I like it, don't I? I like it. I'm going to try and hang on to it for a while. So yeah, if you see one, you know, treat yourself. And look at it this way: if you know, you'll be saving money, saving at least 800 quid on one of these. Oh, these new SG custom colours have just come out, haven't they? That's tricky. Someone in the Guitaristas forum sort of posted that as soon as it came out. Look at these. And I actually said, well, I've avoided looking at them so far. And I avoided looking at them for a couple of days, and then I did. Well, there you go. I've got to get one. Maybe the vintage white, maybe the yellow. They're not, and actually, this sounds ridiculous, but I think they're priced at around about 1,600, twice the price of this, 1,700. Anyway, roughly twice the price of this. But I'm thinking, oh, that's not too bad, is it? Okay, again, Epiphone have completely altered our perception of things by charging, or trying to charge £1,500 for the Epiphone Joe Bonamassa SG Custom. I won't go on about it anymore. I've said what I thought about that. I've flipped that. I lost a fair bit of money on that, but it's gone to a good home. And, you know, guy that bought that, well, you know, he paid about the right money for it. In the UK now, they're for sale everywhere at a discount. They're £200 off everywhere now. So I did say, didn't I? Anyway, I've learnt my lesson. I'm never buying an expensive Epiphone again. If I ever think about that, I'll just go and buy something like this instead, because they're far better. They're far greater value. You know, they're far more I'm going to pause while I think of the word. Satisfying. It's far more satisfying a guitar like this because you never feel like you've been ripped off. I'm going to wrap this up now. You'll have no such regret if you buy one of these, really. I don't think you will. I think it's a good price for this. I think it's well worth every penny of it. Yeah. No, it's not often you say that, is it? But there you go. Thank you very much for watching the channel and putting up with all this nonsense. I'll be here again next week. Same time, same place. I'm here every Friday. If YouTube isn't sending you notifications, it's because, well, a number of things. You might not be subscribed and have enabled notifications, or it might just be that YouTube is a bit shit at sending out notifications, which of course we know is the truth of the matter. So don't rely on YouTube showing you my thumbnail every Friday. I'm here every Friday. 99.999% of the time I'm here every Friday, 12 noon GMT. So if it doesn't show you that, just type in a search, The Guitaristas. You'll get a hit straight away, and you'll be able to watch my latest video, which is, well, this is this week. So thanks for watching, if you're still watching. It's appreciated. Come back, same time, same place next week, and let's do it all again. All right. Cheers for now. Ta-da. Here we go.